come here. Welcome to the Famous Foxes Aftermath Show, live every Sunday on Leicester Fan TV. Come on, you Foxes.
Good morning, Foxes. How the devil are you today? How's your weekend been? I know how my weekend's been. It's absolutely fantastic. The last minute winner, 5 minutes before closing time. Absolutely brilliant. But you know what day it is? It's Sunday. It's now the winter time. It's 10 o'clock a.m. So it's time for the Famous Foxes Aftermath Show, run by us fans and here for you fans out there. And you know what? Your opinion really matters. So get them comments in now. Let's get going. It's kickoff time. Come on, you Foxes!
The Leicester City machine is on the march again!
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Foxes Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.
Good morning, everyone. Morning glory. What a win. Potentially iconic. Yes, it was potentially iconic. Morning, Matthew, watching on YouTube. Please like and share this. Let's get this up to 500 people watching today. That would be absolutely fantastic. Some might like me, some might not. But after yesterday, who cares? 3 more points in the bag. 2 wins out of 2. 6 points out of 6. Forest coming up. What more can you ask for that? Morning, Jamie Powell. All I can say is Steve Cooper in. Put some respect on his name. Come on, you Foxes. I am certainly in that mood today. Not coming out fighting. I'm not going to be aggressive today. Everyone's going to have the chats. I've got plenty of people there wanting to come in. And Reedy, we'll get Reedy in to start off with, shall we, Reedy? Reedy might not be able to say a lot today because he's got a little bit of a sore throat there, Reedy, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Probably one of the best away games I've been to. Again, we obviously can talk about the whole game in all, but what a win. 3 points, obviously 6 points in the last 2 games. Hopefully Forest will make it 9, but there's a lot to talk about because again, it's not all amazing, perfect. There is things where we can mention, but yeah, good to see.
I'll certainly agree with this. It's like Tony says, Jamie, wake up and smell the coffee. Cooper almost cost us the game with clowning around with his team selection. Players got him out of it. But you've got to give him credit. Yes, it wasn't the most inspiring team selection, I have to admit. I was a bit surprised with El Canouse and Bowen Naughty both playing together. I think it left us a little bit light on the right-hand side, and I do think that that's where both the goals came from, and it left JJ very open. But he spotted it. He made the changes at half-time. He made the changes, I think, 65 minutes, and changed the formation as well, really, didn't he? Which helped a lot.
Yeah. Let's get it straight. He didn't get it right in the first half. I think the substitutes were perfect. Again, Winks showed his quality and showed how well he has been in the Championship last season. He showed that his quality was there. But I think, again, the moment everyone was asking for Fatawu, the whole season comes on, proves it. He deserves to start against Forest. If he doesn't start against Forest, I'd be fuming because he deserves it from that performance yesterday. And for me, AU is that substitute player now because I think when you're in a position like a 2-2 or even at 2-1, I feel like he can come on and hold the ball up a bit more and do that. I don't think he's a starter for me now. I think Fatu has to come in and be that main player on the right with either Buonanotte or El Canouse in that middle. But I will mention, and I think everyone can hopefully agree with this, we were very, very fortunate not to either be 3-0 down or a 2-0 with a penalty could have missed or whatnot, but it was definitely a penalty. And from the Palace game, I think we were due a bit of luck because obviously we didn't deserve to be. We didn't deserve to go 2-1 down against them. We didn't concede against Palace, so maybe a bit of luck on our side that we didn't deserve to be 3-0 down in a way, but it definitely was a penalty.
Right, I've got some people. Yeah, the shirt pull by Ayew when he came on. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's bring. I'm going to bring Nick in. Jono, I've seen you. Chris, I've seen you. I've got a few waiting. I'll bring Nick in for a few minutes. Nick, how are you? Morning. Just have you on for a few minutes. I've got a few waiting, pal.
That's fine.
What do you think? What's really saying about JJ being overrun a little bit? What do you think we can do, or do we change it to a back three like we went to when we changed the system to give a bit of cover? I'm not sure.
We look more comfortable. We look more comfortable going to a back three. I agree with Reedy. Yes, we could have given a penalty away, but also you're forgetting before we know El Canu smashed a shot against the post. We hit the crossbar just like they did. So it was just one of those games. But fair play to Cooper. First half was up there with one of the worst I've seen us play in a long time. First half, and he did something about it. Most people would have kept Skip on, but bringing Winks on was brilliant, and Winks was great. You know, arguably he was other than Fatawu, he was arguably my man of the match. Winks was when he came on. I thought he was brilliant.
Hold on, Nick. I said that to Reedy before, just before we came on. We were talking about man of the match, and I said Winks. I thought Winks changed the game because everyone seemed to want to play the ball to Winks when he came on. And I think he had something to prove to Cooper, same as Fatawu, but saying, look, I should be starting. And I think he's made his point there, hasn't he, Reedy?
Yes and no. He did do well. I agree with that. I think, does he start against Forest? I'm not. It's hard because the three defensive kind of midfielders we've got in Skip, Ndidi, and Winks. Someone's going to miss out. And I just don't know who that will be because, again, I don't think Ndidi had the best of games again. But, again, with the win, you can't really fault it. But who leaves? I think Skip out of the three of them, for me, is the better one. So that's why when Nick said about people wanted to Skip off the pitch, I don't know. I probably would have kept him on and took Ndidi off, but it worked. So fair play to keep him on that. I don't know how that lineup now starts because in his press conference after, Cooper did say people will see games sooner or later, and that was talking about Ricardo, about Fatawu and like that. So we don't know how it's going to set up because we want to see these players play, and I don't think Winks deserves to be dropped again, or even on the bench next game against Forest.
There's some questions going on about. We'll talk about the Forest game in a little bit. The second half, Nick, it changed, didn't it, with the substitutions? Were you jumping around when we made it 3-2, pal?
Yeah, you could say that. I nearly lost my voice a little bit. Obviously, Reedy's been singing with Roy Cropper from Corrie and stuff. That's why his voice is gone.
Did you see him yesterday, Reedy?
My dad got a picture of him, yeah.
Did he? Did he have his little bag with him as well when he was there?
I didn't see him. I don't know.
Watch the video again. He realises he's being filmed, and he realises he shouldn't be saying what he was saying.
Yeah, I have seen it. Yeah.
But no, I think we look much better in the second half, going in with a three at the back. Whether we could utilise that going forward, we just look more balanced.
Everyone seems to be saying play Ricky P. But if you play Ricky P, I don't think we can change the formation, can we? Unless we hook someone off.
But then a three in the back with Ricky P, he's going to have to play in midfield. And who do you take out that midfield?
That's the problem. That's
to
the
fit
problem.
in Ricky P, yeah. And let's be fair, let's be fair, Ricky P, he weren't brilliant in the Walsall Cup game and the Cup games prior. He's not been brilliant, has he?
No, he hasn't. Just very quickly, Nick, I'm just going to ask you very quickly, because you won't be on in this. I'm going to bring Chris on in a minute.
Yeah.
What do you think for the score for the Forest game? And I said we'll get 5 points from the next 3 games. We've got 3 already. Yeah. Is it important now to get 3 points at Forest?
This is the one out of these 3 games, Southampton, Forest and Ipswich, that I'm a bit on the fence about, because everybody, but then again, I think the start we've made this season has been pretty decent under the circumstances. But everybody's been raving about Forest, how well they started, beating Liverpool, this, that and the other. But when you think about it, we're only 1 point behind them.
Yeah.
You know, and if you got that, if you think about it even more, right? If we got that result at Palace, which, let's be fair, Cody and the VAR decision cost us, we'd be 8th. Let that sink in. We'd be 8th right now.
Which, if we win 2-0 by 2 clear goals, then we could be 8th before the results on Saturday.
Exactly. So all these people moaning that Cooper out and stuff and all this lot, let them get on with it, because at the minute, yes, he's making silly decisions, but he seems to like he's trying to put the decisions he's getting wrong right, like you did at halftime yesterday. Just keep it going. We've got more fight about us. You can't argue with that.
We've definitely got more fight than we've had the last couple of years. Let's put it like
100%. Did you see this sort of fight with Rodgers' team that got relegated? Because I didn't. Not in the slightest.
I think the Forest game for me, the main point is Cooper, because obviously he was an ex-Forest manager. It all depends on how he sets up or how it feels, because I feel like there's always a bit of an if buts maybe is about him managing against Forest, which is going to be the case. I'm not saying it's like I don't want him or we're going to lose because he's that, but he's got to be the Leicester manager there and not an ex-Forest manager.
Yeah, but you could have said the same back when we had Wesley Morgan and stuff like that.
So,
it's the same thing.
I'm going to
drop you just one last point. We've got 5 days recovery now. Forest have got 3.
Yeah.
So that works in our advantage. Let's utilise it.
Let's utilise it, yes. So, Nick, we shall see you again next week, pal. Cheers for joining, mate.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
There we go. Cheers, Nick. There's Nick's views. Right, let's bring Chris in. I'm also going to bring Jono in at the same time. All right, let's get Jono in. Geordie Jono, how are you? I'm just going to answer this question here from Michael. Morning, not a Cooper fan, Jamie. When he first signed, it wasn't the bloke that I wanted, but I'm willing to back him. Simple as. That's what I'm saying. And I'll back him until he's unbackable. But we've had 2 wins on the bounce. We've got 6 points. I'm sticking by him, as is the manager of our club. Chris, would you agree with that? You weren't really behind. No, you weren't. Wasn't your one choice, was it, Chris Cooper?
It wasn't my number 1 choice, but I was happy nonetheless. Because because basically, I mean, we all wanted one particular person who was too expensive. No, Cooper, I think, has done an absolutely brilliant job. All right, yes, he made a bit of a mistake in the first half, but he recognised that mistake and he changed it immediately. That's not something that Enzo or Rodgers has been doing the past couple of these seasons. So I give him full credit for that. The substitutions were perfect. They were perfectly timed. I generally thought it was a brilliant result yesterday. And and if Cooper keeps up with this, then I could definitely see us staying up. And I don't believe that. I do believe truly he'll be a Leicester manager, not an ex-Forest manager, as Reedy says. I think his heart and soul is in Leicester.
Yeah. Just one thing. I'll just like, this is what I'm trying to say. I said this earlier, that if Cooper had lost the dressing room, the players wouldn't have put that performance in the second half, because there was a rumour, Cooper's lost the dressing room. There's unrest behind the scenes. And like Mr. Six-Hitter has said here, Craig, Cooper's obviously pulling the players together behind the scenes, because we all keep saying the fight is back. And Jono, that's right, isn't it? Like Chris just said, the fight is back, isn't it, Jono?
The fight is back. We've the passion's there, like, the players celebrating last night. I mean, after the last goal, the scenes were unreal. There's limbs. It was just limbs. It was really good. But I think there's still some frustration there. I think Ricardo not playing is frustrating. I think that can I think that might stir the pot a little bit. I think but compared to, for example, under Brendan Rodgers, when things weren't going so well, the difference between those two managers is massively. I'm not comparing to Enzo because every player loved Enzo. He just left. You know, he didn't get sacked. He just left. So
he walked.
And so compare it to Brendan because when things weren't going so well results wise, the players turned. The players are showing more for Cooper than they did for Brendan Rodgers. But I'm going to back Cooper, but there's some massive changes. I don't want us to be a second half team anymore. I want it to be a first half team. I'm bored of having a rubbish first half. Not this game. A lot of games this season have done really bad the first half and had to rescue it in the second. Arsenal came back, in the second half. If we fix that first 20-minute problem, I'm happy. But until then, I'm always going to be a bit iffy.
We can't keep expecting to come back into a game from in a losing position in the first half.
We keep going on about being goals down. 57 times we've been 2-0 down, 2-0 plus down at half time in the Premier League, and we've never won a game when we've been 2-0 down or more at half time. That's the first time ever. And that, something as well, that was the first win in 12 Premier League away games.
Isn't it also
for Leicester? Not Steve Cooper's record that some people keep saying that he hasn't won a Premiership game in God knows how long, away or at home. That's Leicester's record. That people seem to forget about that one, that we hadn't won an away game in 12 games until, that was the 12th game. So we've won 1 in 12 now in Premier League games.
Oh, Premier League, sorry. Yeah, I was going to say.
People keep saying, well, Cooper hasn't won an away game for 18 games. We hadn't won an away game for 11 games before yesterday. People seem to forget that. Steve Cooper's only had, 4 away games at Leicester? And he's drew 1, won 1, lost 2, I think it is. Is that right? I think.
I also like the stat that we were one of the only teams left in Europe that have scored in every single league game this season.
Yeah. Well,
in Europe.
We've only kept 1 clean sheet, unfortunately, Jono, but I know what you mean.
No, when we got relegated, we're struggling to score goals. We even though we might defended well sometimes, we just couldn't score. We are scoring, and even though the tap might be unbalanced, we're still finding ways to score. If you look at the table, we've got 12 goals. West Ham have got 11. Underneath that, everyone's on 9 or less. So we're scoring 4 more goals than everyone else in our position. So as long as we keep doing what we are doing with Cooper's attacking tactics, I think we can do well.
Well, yeah. I honestly think. I mean, I'm not going to say we're going to be world beaters. I still think we'll be between 15th and 10th at the end of the season. Hopefully higher than 17th. That's the place I want to be.
17th or higher. Don't care.
Anything higher than 17th, I'll be happy with.
14th. I said it before a ball was kicked.
Reedy, we're going to talk about 2 players that sound very similar, Mavididi and Ndidi. And you said Ndidi didn't play that well. I don't think it was his best game yesterday, but I don't think Mavididi had a good game as well.
No, I don't think he was much of a threat than he has been in the last couple of games. I think now he's in the team, I think he's getting maybe a bit too complacent. He doesn't seem to want to take on his man, and that feels like a lot of the time last season. Like, don't get me wrong, I was a bit of a hater on him last year yes, he scored so many goals and assists, so you can't really fault him, but he doesn't want to take his man on, and when he does, he decides to try and take him on again instead of going for the box. But it just shows you the completely difference between him and Fatawu. The moment Fatawu came on, all he wanted to do is take his man on and go into the box. So I can't see Mavididi getting dropped. There's no one else that's good enough in that position for me. But
could you actually play Fatawu there?
No, I don't think. As much as I don't mind, I would if you can get into the team anywhere, then fair enough.
What, even a goal?
Well, obviously, you know what I mean though. Like, as long as Fatawu gets in the team, I don't mind. I don't care where he plays, but as long, I don't think there's anyone that can beat Mavididi in that position. He's not great.
Here's one for you, Chris. Do you think we could play Fatua and Mavididi as wing backs and play a back three? That's just coming to my head. Do you think we could?
I definitely think we've got the sturdiness to do that. Absolutely, because
Are Mavididi and Fatua good enough to be wing backs?
Fatua is. You just need Mavididi to track back. That's the issue.
Mavididi still needs, but then again, it's still early days. So I would say, I don't think it's right to say, okay, Mavididi shouldn't really be playing nowadays, because again, it's early days. It's still we're still sort of shaping our team, so to speak. So I would say, yeah, absolutely, we can definitely get them both on the wings, and back three definitely works when we're attacking, and so yeah, I would definitely say we can do it, especially against Forest, 100%.
Yeah, and it's nice that we've actually got a manager that we haven't had for a while, Jono, that's got sort of a plan B that can change it around halfway through the game. Because we haven't seen that for the last couple of years, have we, Jono? Where we just haven't got a plan B at all.
Well, it's proven it twice this season dramatically. Against Arsenal, we could have easily been 3 times against Spurs the first game of the season. Again, poor first half. Came back, changed the tactics, came back to draw. Arsenal, we almost got a point from that. We could have actually won it if we took our chances. And again, yesterday, he's very good at adapting the game to fix the problem. But my concern is there shouldn't be that problem in the first place. My judgment will really come when, if we're cruising in a game, how not to capitulate. Southampton capitulated, Everton capitulates. I want us to be in a position where we are having the advantage and not capitulate, not being from behind and then fixing it.
Yeah. Reedy, Mr. 60 to Craig Andrew put a comment up. I can't find it now, but we've got a very typical Premier League fixture list coming up November, December, January. Squad rotation. Do you think, because if I remember rightly, the back four of the defence has been the same every game, hasn't it, in the Premier League?
There was a few changes. Again, I think Vestergaard started the first 1 or 2, I think.
Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he did, because O'Cody, yes.
Yeah, so Cody only just shot around his position now, and he's obviously deserving of it now. But we've definitely got the backup for every position now. I think, again, not to say that FaZe and Okoli need to be swapped around, because I don't think they do at all. You've obviously got Vestergaard, you've got Ricardo on the right. You have got Luke Thomas, if must, on the left, which I don't think is needed, but is there. Midfield, again, you've got Winks, you've got even El Canoes in that midfield if he doesn't play. There's rotation players everywhere, but I don't think we'll need to change, because it's not like the Championship. We're not playing 2 games in 1 week. We can play the same team each week. We showed it in the Premier League season when we won. We didn't need to change it, other than maybe one here or there. It's not a necessary thing now when we're playing 1 game a week.
Well, Aggie's I know we keep going on. Aggie's making some good comments this morning. It doesn't matter how well Cooper does. I don't think he'll ever win the fans over. I'm not sure he will. Chris, do you?
But are they fans? That's my big question.
Be careful what you say, Chris. Be careful what you say. I didn't say that. Chris said that. If you're going to have a pop.
Sorry, no, I'm sorry. We backed the team, right? And this is what I know there are people out there that were against Cooper from the start and just want to be proven right. And I seriously believe that Cooper can keep us up. I've said that from day one. And because I do believe it, he did a brilliant job with Forest. He kept them up. And so I genuinely think he can do it. And so I know there are people out there that are just going to think he's not good enough, and they're just waiting to pounce, basically.
See, here's the question with what Clibo's saying there.
Yeah.
If he keeps us up and we are like 15th and we stay up, is that for us long term? Does he stay, or do we look to try and bolster and slowly progress up the leagues like we up the table like we have the previous years, or are we happy to settle with mid-table as Leicester City?
But are we happy to settle for mid-table? Before we won I know this is talking about the past, and I'm not allowed to talk about the past, according to some people. I'm too in the past, or I'm not allowed to talk about the past. But before we won the Premier League, we were only a mid-table club.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, fair enough. I'm not saying I want to go back to Europe again. Like,
that's what some people have got to remember.
I'm not saying we have to get back to that point. I'm just saying, long term, is Cooper the right man to try and get us higher in the table? I don't think he will be. I think, yes, perfect appointment at the moment to try and keep us in the league. Fair enough.
But how
do you want to be in the league?
How do you know Cooper is not the man to do it? Given time, given a chance to build something.
Maybe we could finish 8th this year. You never know.
I think
we could finish Europe. You don't know.
The problem is, us winning the Premier League was both an absolute treasure, but at the same time, it's a curse. Because everybody thinks because we won the Premier League, we're better than we are. We're not. You know, we won the Premier League, yes, because we were the most consistent team that season. Not the best, the most consistent. And unfortunately nowadays we really need to think our main goal is to stay in the Premier League, not to get Europe, not to win the Premier League again, to stay in the Premier League. If we can finish, even if it's the bottom half of the table, it doesn't matter. If we stay in the Premier League, that's all that matters.
Here's one for Andy Sheba. Yeah, it's very similar to what you've said. I'm happy to be mid-table. Our rise cost us financially. Steady the ship, make sure that we get the cash flow and consistent season, then push on, go about it like Villa have. Villa have struggled for a while, and then now they're pushing, they're doing exactly what we did.
Would you say their manager's better than ours?
Yeah, Emery's better than Cooper.
That's what I'm saying. That level,
no one wanted.
That level is higher than ours. Like Brendan Rodgers was when we signed him. I don't know what fans were like, but when we first signed him, I was like, "That's a brilliant signing." And
I did.
That's like the level. That's the level of come from Puel to Rodgers. That was the level. Whereas, I don't know.
I'm gonna head off. But...
Right, John. Yeah, we'll let you go, pal, because Gray's come on. He's been nagging me to come on, and he comes on for the last 5 minutes of the show.
I'll just say that Fataru, man of the match by a mile, and he must start up with Benetti every game. Don't want.
Just before you go, quality comment by Luke there. Emery is better than Cooper, but look how long it took him to get there.
Well, Emery took over with.
Managers are not made overnight.
No, Gerrard made Aston Villa an absolute mess, and Emery took a while to get them where they are now. But is Cooper that? I don't. Before, like, you can discuss this. Can Cooper get to Emery's level? That's in the next few seasons. All right, see you guys in a bit.
No, I'm going to let you go and bring our mate Gray on. Where is he? There he is. Let's bring him on. Gray, you've been wanting to come on for weeks, and you leave it to the last 5 minutes of a show.
I know. I jumped in the shower. Sorry.
I wondered what the smell was. Very quickly, pal, because I've only got a few minutes left.
That's fine, mate. No worries.
Probably great for when you come on, which is perfect for me. Yesterday, what did you think to yesterday, and what are your views on Stevie Cooper and stuff like that, and how do you think the season's going?
2 wins on the bounce. We're 9 points, are we? First half could have been better. Well, first half could have been a damn sight better. I don't understand why we're not getting going till the second half. But I'll come back. Cooper in, Cooper out. He's the only one that wanted the job when we were in such a financial trouble. So let's just back the boys, really. I'm 100% behind them, and I called it at half time to the wife. We'd win the second half 3-0, and we did. I just wish I'd had a bet on it.
My dad at half time was outside the ground. It was like, if this is the case, it goes 3-2. Don't put a bet on it. I didn't see the odds, but it would have been quite high.
I would have thought so as well, really.
I would have thought so, yeah, because
I was getting a lot of banter from mates at work saying, "Oh, you're 2-0 down, you're 2-0 down," and I was, putting it back. So, win 3-2, we'll win 3-2. No worries.
Tom's right. Sorry, Chris, but Tom's right there. We still have to question Cooper's team selection. We looked unbalanced. We did look unbalanced, having El Canouse and Bowen Naughty playing, especially because Bowen Naughty keeps coming in from the right-hand side and leaving us free down there. We need to sort that out. And once we get that, I think we'll start getting a few more clean sheets. Once we get that defensive mind, he's cracking going forward. Got to agree. He's cracking going forward, Bowen Naughty. The defensive side of it, he's got to try and up his game, or something's got to happen. I'm not sure whether it's bring Fatua in, but then who do you? I don't know. It's difficult, isn't it, Reader?
It is. I feel like he has to get this team right against Forest. It's not going to be an easy game. No game in this Premier League is easy, but against Forest, you need to set up right. Otherwise, you will get punished, and that's what we did against yesterday, and we will do against Forest if we're not careful. So, for me, Fatua has to come in. After the performance yesterday, he has to come in. Just shows you what everyone's been asking for. Fatua coming on the game, nearly scoring an absolute screamer. Just deserves to be in the team. AU for me has to be that substitute player who comes on and sees out the games. Perfect to see. And yeah, does Wink start? In my eyes, yes.
There's a lot of questions need to be asked, isn't there, Chris? Does Wink start? Does Fatua start? Does Ricky P come in? Is there changes to be made? What would you do, Chris? You're sitting in Stevie Cooper's hot seat now.
I think the only sort of change I'd make is Fatua start for El Canouse. I think that's literally the only change. I think everything else, keep it as. Because, yes, all right, we were 2-0 down at half-time, but at the same time, we still pulled it back. And I think reason we pulled it back was that Fatua was bringing on man of the match all day long. So, therefore, yeah, I think the only thing we need to do is just basically put him on to start.
Righty, Chris, we shall see you later, pal. Be good, mate. Have fun.
Will do.
Cheers for joining us.
Thanks, pal.
Cheers, mate. See you later. Great. What do you think Friday night, pal?
I'd like a 3-1, but realistically, 2-2. I'll go for your Desmond, Jamie.
Desmond at home. Oh no, you don't go Desmond at home.
They're going to be up for it. We've got to be up for it from the get-go, and Cooper's had 2 weeks to prep the lads for yesterday, and in the first 45 minutes, they weren't ready. If we do that on Friday night, we're going to get trounced in the first half. I think we've got to come out on 0-0 minutes and come out fighting against them horrible red breeds.
Yes. Sorry, I was reading a comment there.
That's all right, mate. No worries.
Yeah,
I was just going to say, who found Buonarte? Because he's been class. He has been that little technician with his little intricate passes and shots and everything else. He has been a godsend.
Just a shame you can't keep him.
Yeah. There's one for you, Reader. Would you take a point at home and 3 points against Ipswich?
I was about
100%.
to mention this. If you gave me 3 points already against Ipswich, I'd be more than happy to take a point at Forest. But again, I'm not saying I'd take a draw and nothing else. Again, if you get 6 points in the next two, what a start to the season that is.
Yeah, like Mr. Yes, it would be, wouldn't it?
That'll be 4 wins in a row as well. That'll be 4 wins in a row.
We've got 9 points from 8 games. I know that doesn't sound massively fantastic.
But look at the table.
Look at the table. We're 8 points clear of the bottom 2 already.
And you're only a point or two off United.
And Southampton have Man City next, and Wolves tomorrow have Man City.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah. I mean, if we can get another 3 points, 9 out of 9, like the councillor says, wow, that'd be absolutely fantastic.
That's 12 points in 4 games.
There's a lot of things I want to say if we get 9 points out of 9, but I think I'll get banned from every social media site in the planet if I say what I really want to say to a few people. But like Mr. Six Sitter says, wrong comment. Mr. Six Sitter said a point a game keeps us up, which it would do.
Yeah, we've got to be getting a point or 3 with the teams in the bottom 10. We've got to be getting a point or 3 against them, and then if you put the ones in the top 10, if you sneak a point, you've done well.
I wouldn't say the bottom 10 great. I would say at least the bottom 6. You need to be getting. It's like a mini table, isn't it? There's like a top 6, a middle 8, and a bottom 6. And I think as long as you get points regular against them bottom 6, then that is. I don't think top 10, bottom 10 is stretching it a little bit. But I know where you're coming from. You can pick up points and get the odd point from one of the top 6 points. Like we did against Spurs. That was a bonus.
That was a huge point, that one at home to Spurs.
Yeah. That's the way I think. It's that mini table at the bottom 6, read it. I think that's where we've got to be picking up most of our points for the next few games, haven't we?
Yes, like, don't get me wrong, you need to be picking up some points from higher in the table if you can, like you say, like the Spurs game, like Grace said, but it's about now, like, looking at them. If you got the next 2 games and you get 4 points minimum from that, or maybe even 6, the next 2 games after that is Man U and Chelsea, I think. You can then, if you do take a hit and lose, it doesn't matter as much. But you'd like to see
what I've been saying. 4 points from the next 2 games. Win your home, draw your away. 4 points from the next 2 games. I've been saying that for years. And I got lambasted last week for saying that. And Tom gets all the praise for saying it. I've been saying that for absolutely years.
We know where he stole the comment from, Jamie.
2 points is championship winning performance. And that's what we need at the minute. 2 points, an average, will make us stay up.
But, we know where Tom stole the comment from, Jamie.
No. Well, probably.
Yeah.
Tom talks a lot of sense. Tom does talk sense. But yeah, great. We shall speak to you again soon. Probably in about 2 years' time when you manage to get up on time. Right then, pal.
Take it easy, guys.
Is there a
watch along Friday? Is there a watch along on? Is anyone doing a watch along on Friday?
We don't know yet. We're struggling with that at the minute because everyone's going to the games and that.
Right, okay. All right, no worries.
Right, pal. Speak to you later.
Take it easy.
Yes, talking of the Man U and Chelsea game, I am back for the Chelsea game, Reedy. You've got me sitting near you throwing sweets at you.
Yay.
Actually, no, I'm about 2 rows further back this time, so I'm not as close to you.
All right. You owe me a pint anyway.
I know I do. I had a pint and a burger because you're coming down early for the Brighton game, aren't you?
Maybe.
Reedy, we shall see you through the week, pal. Thanks for joining us once again.
Yes.
And also, Tom, go and watch his review of the game. He talks some absolutely cracking sense, Tom does. So go and watch his, a lot more than you, Reedy, 100% more than you. Sorry.
He's been saying what I've been saying, and everyone says I'm a negative person for that.
Tom talks 99% more sense than you do. You talk 1%, he talks 100%.
Nah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he doesn't talk sense. I'm saying he says what I say, but people think I'm talking negative.
I think there'll be a few WhatsApp messages to you in a bit there, Reedy, after what you've just said, boy. All right then, pal. I shall speak to you later.
All right, see you in a bit.
See you later. Thanks a lot, mate. Cheers, Reedy. There you go. Another wonderful show. Thank you for joining us. Absolutely brilliant. There's a few comments. Sorry, autocorrect. Reedy speaks facts, not truth and sense. William Marshall, your 1-0 prediction was a little bit out. Yes, it was a little bit out. Tom's laughing at me or Reedy, I'm not sure. Comparing Reedy to Tom is a little bit unfair on Tom. Right. Much appreciated for joining once again. We shall see you again. You've got Phil's show on Monday night. Jono's show, the Football Focus, on Thursday. Reedy and Sam doing the team tactics on a Friday. It might be Thursday this week because the game's on Friday. And me back on Sunday talking a load of crap as normal according to some people. So it's ciao, ciao, adios, goodbye, yakida. Come on, you foxes.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents A variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.